What is up, guys? Welcome on back to TK's Garage. And boy, that tariff tool is coming into effect. We've just seen some massive tariffs drop, and they are definitely going to affect the automotive industry, at least here in America. And I think for the possibility of good. So welcome on back to TK's Garage. So I did a video yesterday talking about massive tariffs that were going to drop. And currently there was a hold on tariffs. They were 25% for Canada and Mexico. Okay. Meaning for Stellantis, which would be hurt probably the most, importing those Wagoneer S's from Mexico, the 2500 and a 3500 Ram would cost them insane money. 25% instantly cut from the profits if they don't raise the prices on the vehicles. And they've already raised them too high, so they can't add more to the vehicles. They would be unsellable. So this is a massive L for Stellantis. Well, it also affects Canada, which is the Chrysler minivan and basically the Dodge Charger EV Daytona, and the six-pack that would be coming this summer would also get a 25% instant increase, right? Now, if that wasn't bad enough, during an interview with Brett Baer on Fox News, he was like, no, we're looking at 50 to 100% tariff. So now a Dodge Charger Daytona EV that you can't sell right now, they're not selling, at 80 grand would be 160? 160, even if it's only half, $120,000 Dodge Charger EV, when you could go buy two Plaids. Nobody's buying that. Nobody's going to buy a Ram 2500 at a 50% increase. And Stellantis can't build them and sell them at that high of a tariff, which is the point of today's video. When I was getting home, I heard also on the news that he dropped a 25% tariff on all foreign steel and aluminum. So that affects Ford too, on the aluminum side. But Stellantis on the steel side, yeah. What does that do? Well, you know that you had Nippon Steel was trying to buy U.S. Steel, right? They nixed that deal. Not happening. And now this gives U.S. Steel an advantage because the auto manufacturers are going to have to buy U.S. steel to save money by not paying 25% more for steel that's coming in from Japan and China and other places. They're gonna make more. It's gonna be cheaper for them to buy at home, right? Which does what? American jobs. It's a win for U.S. Steel. Now, it'll be interesting to see how long they stay in place. Could there be cost increases associated with that? Depends on the companies. I mean, Stellantis stock took a beating yesterday while the market was going up. Stellantis was going down. That's bad. Because if the market was going down and this hit, Stellantis's exposure could be pretty serious. Could be pretty big, right? So it'll be interesting to see how this continues to go, right? How do I say this? Hold on, let me check one thing and see if I can talk about this one thing. All right, I had to verify through 30 minutes later. I had to verify through all of my executive sources that because I got to be careful about what I talk about sometimes, because if I'm only hearing it from one source and I talk about it, I could expose that source. But if all three can tell me the same thing and they don't know each other and they don't even work in the same areas or same divisions or companies or anything, then I'm covered. But evidently there was a board meeting or video call, whatever you want to call it, with Stellantis when this interview dropped earlier today. They actually got a heads up, I guess, from the Trump administration that this was coming or that this could happen. And Stellantis is extremely exposed because of the Saltillo plant in Mexico, but also Ontario, Canada. And what Trump really pushed hard in this interview was he wants the auto industry to come back to the United States. He's not doing this, ship it across the border. Now, it's also kind of a negotiating tool for Canada. You know, they're pushing this whole be the 51st state thing, which I'm not going to get into that, but oh boy. I mean, if he pushes this hard enough and Canada doesn't do something here to get him to, have this really good deal or whatever the deal is he wants, they could lose the auto industry in Ontario, at least when it comes to Stellantis. Because what's Stellantis going to do? Now, they could cut the Charger EV and the Scat and the six-pack. They could cut the Wagoneer S and not have to deal with retooling a plant and put it in there, because they've both been problems for them anyway, and they could use this tariff thing as an excuse of why they canceled those models, right? And it sucks because people are just buying those now, right? Not many. Less than 120 sales of the Dodge Charger since it's been out, and that's including model year 2024 and 25. Just saying. Wagoneer S, not much better, even though I did see one in the wild, which blew me away. They could use it as an excuse as to why they cut those, and which sucks because they wasted all that R&D money, all that development money, all that factory money, and the people in Canada and Mexico basically are out of jobs, right? And then they move probably the minivan to Sterling Heights. Maybe they move it to Warren, who knows? They move the 2500 and the 3500 to, Belvedere or somewhere else. And there you have it. UAW wins. They get a bunch more jobs back in. They can get back some of the jobs that they lost. But our brothers and sisters to the north kind of get screwed. And, I don't know about Mexico or not, but I feel like there is a massive storm coming when it comes to that. Yeah. There's one of the sources texting me right now saying, hold on one second. All right, so that's two of the different sources saying that they've now asked the Trump administration for like a waiver when it comes to Canada and Mexico, why they could figure out how to move stuff, with a promise to move the manufacturing of products in Canada and Mexico to the United States. That's bad news for Ontario. I can tell you that right now. Looking at what's gone on in Brampton since they are retooling that facility, yeah, that would be really bad news for Ontario. All those auto workers, because they're just going to move it right across the water, right into Detroit, like this. Done. So it will be interesting to see what happens there. I thought it was interesting news with the steel tariffs and seeing how Stellantis is now like in full panic mode at a 50 to 100% tariff. It's understandable. It's bankruptcy level events. You can't keep building cars in Mexico and Canada and then import them here and think you're going to sell them for, you're either going to eat that 50 to 100%, even if you cut the 50% and you increase prices by 25% and eat the other 25%, nobody's going to buy your product. You're already overpriced. You already let the last CEO royally effing screw you. So it'll be interesting to see. It will be interesting to see. Could be the catalyst that actually finally forces that Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram split from Stellantis. Could also be the catalyst where Stellantis decides, hey, we're an American company, we're moving everything here, and maybe they abandon some of their European brands. I don't know. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Give this video a big thumbs up if you like what I do. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. And as always, stay petty, my friends.